Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Google Hangout today. Here, it's Glenn Dietzel here. I want to welcome you to another Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. Today, I'm going to share with you a deal transaction tool to assist you to close a lot more deals. Our clients like this tool, and I created it for our clients because I don't want them and I don't want you to lose sight of what business is really about in today's advisory-based age, and that's knowing how to close deals. So I'm going to show that to you momentarily here, and over the next 30 minutes on our power session here, our Business Breakthrough Google Hangout, we've been going at Mach 1,000 speed here today, so I apologize here for starting just a couple minutes late. Had to race home from our international office to the Canadian Lake Home where I do these, and we're not doing them in front of the lake right now. We're actually doing them where I run my Omega Mind events. And a couple weeks ago, you had a chance, if you've been following us, to get on a live Google Hangout with the Omega Mind members, and you learned from many of them from around the world. They gave you some strategies of what they were learning around how to build out your own certification co-branding program, specifically focused on closing high-end deals and attracting the kind of coaches, the trainers, and consultants in your industry who are going to want to co-brand with you, bring you into new markets, and allow you to act a lot more strategically. As we build out our Google Hangout show, this is not about perfection. I don't have my lower third on for those who've been doing Google Hangouts, etc. It's just because I just want to, first of all, give you great content. Secondly, I want to answer questions about Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, what we're doing, some of the questions that have come in, and I've got a list of them here, a few of them here, and I'll be answering those in our 30-minute session. So we're going to do a couple of things. First of all, I want to just mention, because there's been so many questions coming in about Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, and it's been an honor and a privilege to meet many of you and talk directly to you when I've had a chance to, and I'm really excited about this event. So you definitely don't want to miss it, especially if you realize that in order to do what I'm doing today would cost you about $2.5 to $3 million. And if you want acceleration and you want to leverage accelerated teaching and learning and tie that into advanced and speed to market business systems, then you are going to love what we're going to be doing here at the one-day intensive at the Canadian Lake Home. Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, as we're calling this event, and 22 Social, and we've got some is sponsoring the event. We've got a lot of really cool things that we're going to be doing here, and you know, I'll be talking to you more at the end of our training here about this around questions. So first of all, let me just show you a couple things here just to bring you up to speed on what we've been covering in the past. I'm going to disappear here just for a second. On our last Google Hangout, I spent time sharing with you the new super rich 7+ figure coaching and consulting model. So knowing how to build out a 7, 8, 9 figure coaching and consulting business, that's what I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be showing you our model that I've developed in the trenches, working in over 120 industries, well in excess of 11,000 hours working in the trenches with clients and developing and helping them build out their business back end properly. And we're calling the event Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. This is the postcard that we have, and we're sending this. If you're interested, there is a definitely, if you're interested, you're going to want to take action. People today, the most successful people today are able to take and make quick decisions and execute quickly. You're going to need a ticket, all right? So to get into the event, you're going to need a ticket. This is the ticket that will be sent to you. The value is $997. It's waived for you, provided that you reach out to us. Nadine in our international office will send you information on how to get the event at no cost. And I'm going to show you what people are doing, a little fun competition that we're doing, how to get a ticket at no cost. It's easy to do. Just want you to have some fun, and most importantly, I want you to come ready to build out and understand how we build partnerships, royalties, and leveraged profits. So the event will run from 8 to 4 o'clock. We're going to start at 8 in the morning Eastern. We're going to go to 4 o'clock. Then we're going to break for dinner. Then we're going to have a time at the Canadian Lake Home, just an informal time to get to know each other, focus on JV deal making, and just spending some time and leveraging the power of Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. So those are, I just wanted to quickly let all of you know. Some of you right up front have been asking us about getting into the event. What's required, and yes, you will need a ticket. So that will be sent to you. All the details, I covered that on last week's Google Hangout. So you can go to newgurumodel.com/blog, newgurumodel.com/blog. If you're watching this right now on our Hangout site at newgurumodel.com/hangout, you can ask questions right there. Some of you have been watching in our Facebook stream. Some of you are watching on G+, and I'm not sure what we're doing behind the scenes because I have a project manager who's handling this, actually two that are working with me behind the scenes to put things together and coordinate our efforts as our company grows and we build some really cool traction with Google Hangouts today. So for those of you that are watching today, I want to commend you on that. And I'm going to then, so just covered really quickly, Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. It is the event that you don't want to miss. The seats are extremely limited because we're at the Canadian Lake Home, number one. Number two, it is in Canada, we'll send you details, etc. if you're interested in attending. And let me just tell you this, you're crazy not to. I believe the greatest opportunity cost for you in 2014 is to miss this event. Why? Because I've been spending a lot of time, a lot of effort, probably more time than just about anybody in this industry over the last 10 plus years, and growing at an accelerated rate our coaching and consulting business, and helping, more importantly, helping others grow. And we've had a chance over the last several months. You've watched me interview dozens of our clients. In fact, if you've been following us, like some of you have, for 7, 8, 9 years and longer, it's hard to believe you've watched me interview thousands of our clients. And that's why people like Alex Mandossian and others say that nobody has more video case studies in the marketplace today than Glenn Dietzel. That's me. Why? Because we leverage all of our clients as a case study. And the really cool thing, and what you're going to get assistance with at the Canadian Lake Home, at Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, is integrating accelerated business or speed to market business systems with accelerated teaching and learning. And there's nobody doing this in the marketplace today that has uniquely built out a company successfully, working with others, and the unique gifts of teaching, accelerated teaching and learning. And I'm a teacher, I'm a trainer, a high-end trainer, and I want to impart my skills to you. Why? Well, because I grow based on the success of my clients. And that's why my clients invest in our programs. For three things. Number one, the value proposition, the value that they really want. Secondly, they want assistance with strategic positioning. And thirdly, they want ROI. They want return on investment. They want to be able to transact their value a lot faster and quicker. And if you want to do the same thing, I've created a deal transaction tool for my clients. So I'll show that to you right now, deal transaction tool. I'm going to give you free access to it today. And so you're going to want to take a few notes here, probably jot down a few diagrams, maybe make out a chart, because my whole goal with my clients is transactionalizing their value in the market. So many people today get lost in all the information, all the advice that exists online, and more importantly, all the information, most of it, over 99% of it is outdated, it's incorrect, or experts and gurus today, almost all of them, have you building off of a traditional business funnel that simply doesn't build any kind of massive momentum in your marketplace. So you're going to want to be a lot more strategic. So I've got this tool here I'm going to be showing you, and our focus is going to be on transactionalizing deals. And so I've created for my clients a deal transaction tool. For those of you that are clients of ours, we call it our transaction accountability form, and I'm going to be working from that today, all right? We all need accountability. I know this, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching. All forms of business coaching, creating and selling from the stage, how to put presentations together, how to close deals. I've spent a ton of money on coaches helping me in physical performances such as Spartan races. And you know that I'm a huge proponent of adventure racing and doing and challenging myself. And in order to challenge myself, I've always thought it just intuitively obvious that I have to have a coach or I have to have a mentor. In fact, when we launched our own certification co-branding program 2.5 years ago, I spent $20,000 on a coach simply to hold me accountable to get my own program done, because I had figured things out, spent so much money on legal fees and figuring out how do you leverage a coaching or consulting business that will allow you to build out passive streams of income. How do you charge top dollar in creating a certification program and leveraging your certification program long term? And it took me a long time to figure that out, a lot of money, a lot of time. And when I finally figured all those things out, I wanted to be able to execute on it. So I simply hired out a coach, a mentor, if you will, to hold me accountable. And I created things even faster. As much as I believe in speed to market, and I'm all about speed to market, I don't have, as I said, the lower third. Not breaking my show into segments necessarily yet. We have so much stuff going on as a company that if I worried about all that, I wouldn't be able to assist you in the way that I am right now. And so I'm excited for Google Hangouts because it allows me to assist you virtually. So I want to disappear here for a second. I want to share with you a screen that I've shared last week. And this was a screen that I shared with you, a quote from Jay Abraham, who says that entrepreneurs fail not because they're working, but because they're doing the wrong work. Entrepreneurs fail not because they are working, but because they're doing the wrong work. All right, so you want to jot that down. And if you understand the power of what I just showed you and what Jay Abraham is talking about, is that you want to stop doing all of this time-consuming work. And when I talk about time-consuming work, I talk about, if you've not built any kind of massive market traction, probably want to think even creating a website or working on your website or putting a blog together or creating long copy to sell a product or a service, or hiring out a copywriter, or using a traditional business funnel, or using, for that matter, a convoluted business funnel, which I consider just about everybody in the marketplace today that doesn't invert their funnel and really focusing on positioning a service strategically in the marketplace. A few weeks ago, I shared with you my system on how to create an executive summary. I gave you 5 rules on creating an executive summary to be able to help you close deals, big deals, really, really quickly. Because the reality in today's marketplace is that probably most of what you're doing right now, and definitely at least 97 and 98% of what gurus and experts teach today, simply doesn't focus on what you really need to be focusing on in business. So let me be really clear. I'm going to disappear here just for a second, and I'm going to show you the screen that I showed last week here, just to pick up where we were. My best top strategy, and this is one of the reasons why my clients have invested in Omega Mind to come in and work with me directly at the Canadian Lake-Zone. You saw them a few weeks ago when we ran Omega Mind here, actually 2 weeks ago. This is a new stealth selling system to sell your coaching and consulting services. No convoluted business funnels, no high-priced copywriters. You don't need experience, you don't need leads, you don't need cold calls, you don't need sales presentations, no sales proposals, little to no follow-up. Clients close themselves. You close the deal before you show them your service. You don't need a website or product. It's the least amount of work. And most importantly, and the key, is you need to understand how to educate new leads to sell themselves to you. You need to be able to educate new leads to sell themselves to you, all right? So, in a day and age when traditional marketing and sales no longer works, in fact, it handicaps you if you're still trying to do that. It's a day and age in which you need to position yourself as the trusted advisor. where your marketplace trusts you and only you. And so I want to talk to you about how to do that. That's what we've been doing on our Google Hangouts, and I want to show you a really cool accountability tool or deal transaction tool that I give to my clients in order to be able to track their progress and what progress do they really need to be tracking, and doing it in a competitive environment. I'm going to spend another Google Hangout and go through with you the 8 critical criteria. So there's 8 of them, 8 factors that are crucial to you succeeding in coaching and consulting or providing high-end services today. These factors are so important, I'm going to allocate a specific Google Hangout to teach you them. Why? Because if you don't understand these 8 critical factors and how do you succeed as a coach or consultant today, you won't make it in coaching and consulting, because see, most people try to sell the medium of coaching and consulting. Instead of selling coaching and consulting, I want you to instead focus on selling results. Results, all right? If you've been following us for any length of time, you know that pricing is equal to, and pricing in the advisory age is equal to 3 different factors. Value creation, number 1. Number 2, strategic positioning. And number 3, ROI. And we've spent a lot of time, talking about pricing and how to evaluate your real value in the marketplace, position it, and obtain the real value that you want, so you're not handcuffing yourself and building or spending so much time on a low-end product or a service. All right? So I'm going to show you this tool. I'm going to give you access to it. You're going to be able to download it, have access to it here very shortly. But I want to just show you this. I'm going to disappear here for a second, and I'm going to talk to you here about the Omega Mind tool. So this is a tool. This is just a quick short screenshot of it. I'm going to give you the longer form, if you will, in just a second. But if you take a look at the tool that I have in front of you, you're going to want to note 2 things. First of all, in business, you want to create newer and faster conversations. Newer and faster conversations. So, and you might be saying, Glenn, what do you mean by that? Newer and faster conversations. Well, the biggest reality check on where you are in business is what's going on up here. So what kind of conversations are you having with yourself every day? And those conversations that you're having with yourself up here every day are going to be reflected or going to be mirrored in terms of the conversations that you're having in the marketplace. So I created an accountability tool for my clients, and I'm going to be sharing it with you. That's kind of the outworking of what you just saw on how to evaluate your progress in closing deals, and a really cool way of truly evaluating, are you in business and to what degree are you in business? All right? So this is going to serve as a reality check. You want to develop, number 1, newer and faster conversations, and secondly, you want to focus on the principle of focusing on your twin tickets to freedom, which are sales and marketing. Sales and marketing. Now, you've been following us for the last several weeks, for the last several months. In fact, all of 2013 or even before, you know that I've been telling you that in today's trusted advisory era, we've moved from the information age to the recommendation age, or the trusted advisory era, trusted advisor era. You need to be able to position what you're doing to get people to trust you, and trust you faster than what your competitors are doing. And so you don't want to focus on sales and marketing. You want to focus on becoming more sellable and more marketable. In other words, you want to create a lure. And I've talked to you about creating a lure on a previous Google Hangout. So if we take a look at the transaction tool, or the deal transaction tool that you have access to, there are some points, or there are some principles that I want to bring out to you first of all. It measures very clearly where your focus needs to be in business. So if you take a look at this, when you download it, there's no, there's no checklist like, do you have your website done? How many leads are you getting? What's your conversion rate? And by the way, I always focus on conversion with my clients. That's why they love this tool, and that's why they love our systems, because we focus on creating a better conversion process. Because instead of focusing on sales and marketing, we focus on becoming more marketable and sellable, and tying that into the three other areas, the core areas of business, which are value creation, value delivery, and having high profit margins. So those 5 areas, if you've been following us and you've attended some of our other Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, you'll know where your attention needs to be specifically in business. And the Deal Transaction Tool is a tool that really crystallizes very clearly where your attention needs to be in business. So let's go through where your attention needs to be, and I've created a point system for you, and that's why you're going to want to download this. So you can start tracking in a competitive way, because that's one of the key attributes of succeeding in business and coaching, is that you've got to become competitive, and you got to become competitive in a competitive environment. And the coaching and consulting world is highly competitive because there are tons of people that are doing business and coaching and consulting, and the realities are today that 90% of people aren't doing a very good job. In other words, 90% of people aren't making a profit. And that's because they're listening to the wrong advice that's putting all your attention and effort on low-end products, low-end services that simply just undermine what it is that you're doing. And remember, in the advisory age, your marketplace expects to get your best, and then they're gone. So you've got to know how to position what you're doing. So I want to take you through some of the attributes, or some of the variables, if you will, on the Deal Transaction Tool, and I'm going to share with you the point process. Why? Because you're going to start tracking your points every single day, every single week. And if you have no points, that's going to indicate to you that you are simply haven't been in business that week. If you have no points that you've accumulated in a day, it's a reality check that you are not in business. So for those of you that are fooling yourself, like I did for 2.5 years, thinking that writing an ebook, thinking about putting a free report, writing a physical book, and all of that was putting me in business, I spent 2.5 years, about $65,000 Canadian dollars, and I made a total of about $524. Not very good ROI. So I want to save you that pain, that frustration, and that grief. And the sooner you come to grips with what I'm going to show you about where the core essence of business is and how I teach my clients to evaluate themselves, you're going to have a lot of aha moments, because you're not going to see anything on the tool that you're going to have access to, the Deal Transaction Tool, that reflects most of what gurus and experts are teaching you to do. All right? So, first of all, I always tell my clients to take a look at where their greatest leverage is in the market. All right? So if we go back here just for a second, I'm going to disappear here for a moment, and we go here. The very left column you'll see over here is just starting to make a list of names. A list of names of all of the people who you've ever done business with. And if you've never done business, like where you've made money from business, then take a look at all the traction that you have from all the advice that you've given, especially in your core areas of competency, or where you've done pro bono work, or where over a cup of coffee, or at the water cooler at work, or wherever you're giving away advice, and you've created a following, or people that lean on you. Start making a massive list of those people. Now, the reality in today's marketplace is this, that the average person, they're going to go through life today, the average person will impact anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 people. 4,000 to 5,000 people. That's not being in business. That's just the average person is going to impact 4,000 to 5,000 people. So on the very conservative side, you've either impacted at least 1, probably maybe to 1,500 to 2,000, depending on where you are, your age, you've impacted a lot of people. So start writing the people's names down on there. And secondly, so you don't get any points for that, what you're going to do and what I teach my clients to do is how to reach out to those clients where you're never selling, you're only positioned as an advocate for them and for your industry. It's very stealth, very powerful, and that's why our clients invest in Omega Mind and our high-end programs and services. But I want you to take a look and have access to this tool. Why? Because if you're in business already, you're only going to make points this way. All right? And I'm going to show you how to allocate points depending on what you're doing in business. All right? So you've made a list of people that you've influenced in the market. For those of you that are in business, many of those people will be people that have invested in your programs and services. So you're going to, in the second column, that was the initial connection column, you're going to give yourself 1 point. Now, how do you get 1 point? You get a point by influencing somebody to get back to you. All right? Just by simply knowing how to strategically reach out to somebody. And I teach my clients to do it very easily. And we've spent time on our Google Hangouts on how to do that. But it is really easy to have people get back to you if you're very clear about your positioning, you're very clear on the results that you offer in the marketplace, and you know how to position yourself as a trusted advisor. It's really easy. You just think about all the people right now that are leaning on you where you're not making any money, and they're leaning on you for advice from, just assortment of different areas. You can do this, and you can do this really, really easy. So you're going to give yourself 1 point on the initial connection. Okay, so that was the second column. You get 1 point. So anytime you influence somebody to get back to you, and the goal is to build out a consultation with that person, you're going to, so just by a simple email, I show my clients how to structure the emails, how to structure through private letters, and that's part of what we're going to be doing at Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, is I'm going to show you how I reach out to people and get about a 92% response rate. Unheard of in the industry. Whether it's cold leads, warm leads, or especially hot leads, all right? So you're going to love the process, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, so the first stage then is to get people to respond to you. The goal is to get them onto a consultation. The goal is to present an offer. And that's why I like executive summaries, and I spent a Google Hangout couple of weeks ago, or just before Omega Mind, showing you one of my executive summaries. I gave you 5 rules on how to quickly put an executive summary together. You don't need a website, you don't need to hire out a copywriter, you don't need to create a front-end product and all that other time-consuming stuff. What you need is a more intelligent business model, all right? So the next column then, you're going to give yourself 2 points when you book somebody and a time to talk with you, when you calendar a time to talk with somebody, all right? You're going to give yourself 2 points, all right? So the goal, again, is to get people, face-to-face, on a Skype call, a Google Hangout call, a telephone call, in-person appointment, but you're going to give yourself 2 points when you book that. Now, the next step, so you're going to follow our predictable, certain, and secure systems, and the next step is creating an action step from that consultation. And one of the reasons why I showed you how to create an executive summary was because that is a logical, if you set up a consultation really easily, that's why we're huge on assessment instruments and knowing how to assess your marketplace. All you're doing is anchoring or positioning yourself just like your medical doctor does, right? Your medical doctor, when you go in, by the way, as I shared at Omega Mind, the medical profession is the most powerful people. They're the most powerful people in the world. Why? Because only those people, doctors, can get the President of the United States, the Prime Minister of Canada, the Prime Minister of Australia to take off their clothes. So if you can get somebody to take off their clothes, I submit to you that that's probably, and they do it willingly, probably the most powerful person in the world. So doctors have a lot of power. And one of the ways that they leverage their power is they triage or they assess a problem. And they do it this way. they never say, they never start by creating a diagnosis for you. They always say to you, Glenn, what seems to be the problem? What seems to be the problem? So they get me to talk about my problems. And then they very strategically diagnose, and they say, Glenn, here's what you need to do, okay? Or here's what we need to prescribe for you. Do you see how easy you can do this? And by the way, if you think you're beginning to see this and light bulbs are going off, you're going to love our measurable and accountable systems that help our clients do it really in a really stealth way that positions their highest end coaching and consulting services. So let's just recap here then. By sending an executive summary, you get 3 points. All right. So let's just tally up so far. You're going to create a list like I just showed you. You're going to have access to this template, this tool, just a list of contacts, people you're going to reach out to. Then when you you send something out to them, contact, phone them, an email, and you book a time they actually get back to you, then you get 1 point. All right. When you book a time to talk, you get 2 points. And when you send an executive summary or another action step, you get 3 points. Now, I want you to understand this. This is all about transactionalizing your value in the market. Why are we doing this again, Glenn? Because you need to understand the core areas of business. You're only getting points for closing deals and breaking it down into a step-by-step system, okay? Now, the next one, you'll notice here a huge jump on the points, and that's this. Follow up and closing the deal, you get 10 points. Follow up and close the deal, you get 10 points. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to close deals, and my clients close deals easily and a lot faster and a lot more securely than other programs. Why? Because they use a more intelligent business model, and they get to leverage accelerated business and accelerated teaching in a very cool and strategic way. So you're going to give yourself 10 points for closing the deal. Now, that doesn't mean that you transactionalize the deal. It just means that the person you are speaking to sees the value of your offer and they want to move forward with you, and so they say, yes, I want to do this. All right? So you get 10 points. And all you need to send them then is the executive summary and tie that into a full agreement. So how are they going to pay? And just a couple of pages that we add to our executive summary, and we get things done very quickly, very strategically. I get that sent out. I get myself 10 points. Now I'm all about competition, so I want to help you understand, and that's the whole point of this. You notice 1 point, then 2 points, then 3 points, then a jump to 10 points, and finally, when you transactionalize the deal, that means people actually give you money for your advice because they see the win-win. You win because now you're building a profitable model that will allow you to influence and help more people. That's why you're in business. It's very hard to impact people from a business when you're really a not-for-profit. Why do you want to set up a company? Well, there's 6 motives why you want to set up your company. And it doesn't really come down to money. It very seldom does for my clients and for myself. It really comes down to what is it that you really want out of life. And that's usually for many of my clients tied into charities. It's tied into maybe setting up their own 501c3, 501c6, a not-for-profit organization, or they want they want to be able to travel. They want to be able to do things that just bring greater good to their world, to the world in which they live, the world in which I live, the world in which you live. All right? So it's in order to do that, and for us to really, truly build out our vision and our passion for our life and our life's purpose, you need a profitable company. Everybody wins then. That's why I said it's a win-win. Your clients win because you're going to stay in business. Okay, there's nothing worse, and I've seen it because we've got a lot of clients that come to us that have invested in franchising models that do coaching and consulting, and the companies have gone under. Franchising is a horrible way to build a company, all right? Especially a service-based company in coaching and consulting. Licensing doesn't work. Certification, co-branding is the only way that I know. I spent a lot of money, and many of you have downloaded our manifesto, newgurumodel.com/manifesto, where you've got some private teaching. So when you're transactionalizing the deal, which is the last column then, you're going to give yourself 25 points. 25 points, all right? I want you to understand that we went from 1 point to 2 points to 3 points to 10 points to 25 points. That's how I want you to see the importance of what it is that you should be focusing on in business. That's connecting with people, influencing them to connect back to you, to want to set up an appointment, where you run your consultations and you influence them such that they want your executive summary. So you don't have to send them a website or you have all this stuff to send them through again. They want your best, just like a doctor. All right, so you need to know how to triage a problem, which means that you need to know how to assess your marketplace's problems very strategically, where they take your advice, they want more advice, and they want to pay for it. All right, and they're happy to pay for it. As I tell my clients, you pay for the best and you only cry once. So there might be a little bit of crying going on, but in reality, long term, they're only crying once. My clients only cry once, and it's a good thing too that your clients only cry once too, right? Not multiple times over. And I see many clients are coming to us that are crying multiple times over. They've invested in this program, bought this product, done this, and they are just overwhelmed, and that's why I said, the system that we offer, and one of the reasons why I'm doing Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home is to show you some of our systems and what we're doing and what we've done to build out a 7+ figure coaching and consulting business. So if we go back to here, let's go back here and share my screen here on the tool that you have access to. Let's go here. And these were the columns that I went through: the name, the initial connection, time to talk, action, follow-up, deal value. You see the points there: 1, 2, 3, 10, 25. And then you're going to be focusing on with every person, and at the end of every day, every week, total points. All right, so I'm going to let's move forward here one screen so you can see it. And, oops, sorry about that. Let's go here, and let's start my screen again for you, and let's go here. So you're going to have a total point value. You can do this each day. You can do this every single week. And this is the ultimate way that you know very tangibly you're moving forward in business. And if you're disgruntled with your results, it's probably because you're not really truly focused on executing in what I just showed you, because that is the essence of business. You need to understand this. I've been doing this a long time, and it's not because I'm a genius. It's just probably because I spend a lot more money than most people figuring things out, and I've also been had the opportunity, some amazing opportunities of just being at the cutting edge of what's been going on in coaching and consulting over the last 11 years. That's put me into a lot of markets and brought a lot of people to me. So, you've had a chance, and I'm really happy that I've had a chance to show you some of those clients over the years. So what I want you to focus on then is deal value. Okay, there's two variables, two principles here then. Focusing on deal value, and that's what you'll see on the deal transaction tool, a place where you can focus on the value of the deal. So you know every week, every Monday, when you're totaling it up on Fridays, you're going into a new week, you know all the deals that are on the table. There's no more powerful way to stay focused on the true area of business, because if you're like just about every entrepreneur that we're working with today, you know, they're all over here, you know, squirrel. They see the squirrel. You've probably seen a couple running behind us here. We're not running from in front of the lake here because as I said, I wanted to run these where we run our Omega Mind events, where we're going to have some time during the day for Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. So I figured I would just do it right here. You're going to have a beautiful view of the forest off of the Canadian Lake Home, and of course the lake view is absolutely spectacular. If you've been watching some of our amazing sunsets that I've been sharing with you over the last on our Google Business Hangouts. So finally then, the other variable is then looking at total points. So deal transaction or deal values and total points, that's what I want you to understand, what the essence of business really is. All right? So please don't lose sight of that. So many people today just get so hung up on having to do this and do this and do this and do this, and they're just pulling out their hair, and I don't have a lot of hair left to pull out. So I feel the pain. Trust me, I talk to a lot of people globally, and that's one thing I'll tell you. The entrepreneurs, no matter whether you're in Singapore, whether you are in Australia, New Zealand, whether you're in Hong Kong, whether you're in mainland Europe, as opposed to, some people refer to Britain as Europe. My wife's from Scotland. She says, no way are we part of Europe. We are part of the island. So the island part of the Europe, Britain, Canada, the U.S., and a lot of our friends down south in Latin American countries and South America. It doesn't matter where you're from. People today are ripping out, literally, just, they're frustrated. And I want to help you get over that frustration, that fear. And this is a really cool tool to help you. So I'm going to give you the link here in just a moment. You're going to want to download it. So just you can exchange contact information. Just text DEAL, D-E-A-L. So you'll get the deal transaction tool to 248-469-4376. Text the word DEAL, D-E-A-L, to 248-469-4376. And you definitely want to get that. You're going to want to use it every single day. You want to track what really is the essence of business. All right? I'm going to come back to that in just a second. I want to go to Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. We've got a really fun contest going on. I want to share with you some of the pictures, the caricature, if you've been following us and you're interested, because I've fielded phone calls myself today along with our company of people wanting to come to the Canadian Lake Home. Part of our fun contest and how to get the program at no cost is, first of all, getting that postcard on our blog or phoning our international office at 519-542-3043, or you can text the word Christmas, C-H-R-I-S-T-M-A-S, to 248-469-4376. I'll give you more info when I come back here in just a second. But we've been having a lot of fun. I want to just highlight here a few people. This is, I think, Myron has sent this in to us, so we've had a lot. I don't have access to all of them, but I want to just share a few of them. There's a caricature of Glenn. So downloading the picture, shooting a fun picture of yourself on social media. Next one here, let's see if I can do this here. Okay, let's see, Glenn, come on. Oh, sorry about that. I am clicking on the wrong one. All right, here's another one here. Leverages Einstein. By the way, one of my mentors was trained by Einstein in physics at the University of Ohio State University. That's another story. And so there's Omega Mind, Glenn Dietzel, and that's David. So there's David, what David did. This is Josie. I think Josie sent this in here for us. So thank you, Josie. We've got others that have sent in their picture. So I've got a lot more here that I was going to show you today. But a lot of people are having a lot of fun. And those are some of the people that you're going to meet. For those of you that are already engaged with us for Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, I'm really excited about it. My family is going to be involved, so you get a chance to meet my wife, Fiona, and my boys, Callum and Cameron, and find out that I'm just a normal guy, but I've got some abnormal systems, and that's what my clients really like. So that is, just to make sure that you get that, that was text the word DEAL to 248-469-4376. We can exchange contact information. It's the fastest way for me to give you my best contact. Reach out to me, and I can also send you automatically the download link, okay? For those of you that are interested in Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, just like last week, you can text the word Christmas to C-H-R-I-S-T-M-A-S, Christmas, C-H-R-I-S-T-M-A-S, to 248-469-4376. 4376. So just text a different word, not D-E-A-L, but the word Christmas, and it's the same number, 248-469-4376. You and I can exchange contact information, and everybody that's, just so you know, that was involved in Omega Mind, you had a chance to meet a week and a half ago, all of them were personally vetted by myself. And I got a cool system. I covered a little bit on that, on how to create an executive summary, and that's what I'm going to be showing you at Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, is how to have a life, how to be able to still chauffeur, be a chauffeur. I'm definitely a chauffeur. Just got home from Toronto, Hamilton area this past weekend. My kids were at a basketball tournament there. We're on the road a lot with our kids, so it's really important that I have a lifestyle business so that I can be a dad, I can be a husband, and I can do the things that I really want to do in life. That's why my clients love our systems, and that's why they invest with us. So that is the system today. And for those of you, I'm getting some contacts here. So let's just go back here to the very first Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. Let me just, oops, sorry about that. I thought I had this here. Let's just go back here for you. And that is the postcard that we've created, and you can see it on our blog from last week. We also have a special URL for you. 22 Social is going to be here. They're going to show you how to leverage content as a trusted advisor. We've got some really cool things happening at this, so you don't want to miss it. It's in a really cool setting, and you get a chance to work directly with me, and we'll be going the entire day. So it's going to be a long day. It's going to be intense, and you are going to absolutely be blown away. You will need a ticket again for the event. So for those of you that are already coming, I'm going to cover just a few questions here. We're going to go just the end of here. I'm going to cover some questions. One of the questions that we had from a number of you is, Glenn, do we need our tickets to get in? Yes, you absolutely do. You do not want to forget your ticket. So you'll want to print it off. Make sure that you have it. Please understand that when I do events, they run about $5,000 to $15,000 for a 2-3 day event. And so for those people that are checking us out, they've never heard about me, I put a value here at $997 for the day. That, for those of you that know me and are part of our clients, you go, what? Glenn doesn't sell a $997 program? Never, ever. So they're probably all chuckling and laughing, but I needed to put a value on the ticket, so we put $997, and there's no value or there's no cost or price to you if you have a little bit of fun, get the caricature of myself, the wonderful caricature of myself, and I got dry lips here today because we've been experiencing some winter. When we were away at our boys' basketball tournament, it was pretty cold, so I've got some chafed lips, and I forgot to put my chapstick on here before. Every time I say that, I think of Napoleon Dynamite, but I won't do my Napoleon impression. My kids are just grown, so we won't do that. Won't inflict that pain on you. But I do have some questions here from some of you here. I don't have time to answer all of them, but I've taken some of your questions here to answer them about the Canadian Lake Home, Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. So there are a lot of you that ask questions about, do I need a ticket? Yes, you absolutely do need a ticket. All right, so we can, it's just like verifying who you are, because some of you we don't know, and I don't have a great memory. And you might come up, hopefully, business casual, because that's the day, it'd be business casual. You don't look like your social media profile, and we don't know who you are. You need a ticket, or you will have to pay for the day, all right? So you need to be very clear about that. I need to be very clear, so you don't want to lose your tickets. Please know that, all right? And that just protects everybody for the event. Secondly, I've got a question here. Larry's question. Glenn, I've been following you for 7 years. Just to shout out your content, rocks. Okay, thanks. How did you create such an amazing business system? As I said, Larry, I've been doing this now for about 11 years. I have spent more money than I know that anybody else has in coaching and consulting, hiring out coaches and consultants. well over $350,000, several $1,000,000 back into my business, and I'm just a huge advocate of coaching and mentoring. Like, if you really want to go for something, as I said at the beginning of our training event today, you've got to have mentors, you've got to have coaches in your life. There's no shortcutting success other than using a better system and having somebody there with you and assisting you with you every step of the way. The next question comes from Monique. And Monique has a question, Glenn. Talk to us about certification and co-branding. Okay, I will talk to you, Monique. And I used you, Monique, because there was other people that had questions about certification, co-branding. If you haven't downloaded here, let me just write it out here for you. You want to go to New Guru Model. So I'll just print out the short form here, newgurumodel.com/manifesto. All right, and get our certification, co-branding manifesto. My prediction, so that's newgurumodel.com/manifesto. Okay, newgurumodel.com/manifesto. My prediction is this: that if you don't, and it goes along with Marcus Buckingham and Kirk Kaufman have been saying for the last several years, and it's really great, finally, that I have experts, gurus that I look up to that have been, that agree with what we have been teaching for the last 11 years. And that's in order to survive long-term in coaching and consulting, you've got to have high-end programs and services. And remember, it's all about, one of our keys is knowing how to educate your marketplace to sell themselves to you. Remember, we covered that. All right? So in order to do that, you've got to become more marketable and sellable. So Marcus Buckingham, two things he said a few years ago, and I was really excited when it came out, and I started quoting them all the time, because finally somebody was saying what we've been saying for 11 years, that you've got to have high-end programs and services, and secondly, you've got to be able to use your clients, the coaches and trainers in your industry that are going to bring you into new markets, that are going to be your voice piece, that are going to help you with your sales and with your marketing. And that's what I'm an expert and guru at doing, and assisting my clients to do it. That's why so many of you are moving forward with us in our one-day intensive, because you want to see what I'm doing in business. And it's all going to be, and I'm going to show you very specifically, break things down for you as well in one of the modules on certification co-branding. So I'm really excited about that. So thanks, Monique, for that question. Okay, Sean, Glenn, what if I'm just starting on a business? Will this help me? All right, who is that? Sean? Sean, absolutely. As I've been saying all along, you've been in business, and all of you that are on this training, you need to see yourself that this is an appointed time. And coming to the Canadian Lake Home, for you, for some of you, will be an appointed time. It's really the summation of your calling. You see, when you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to become an entrepreneur or a business person. You've got a calling. You've had that calling since you've been a kid. That calling is one of freedom. It's one of not being tied to somebody else's how they do things. It's about breaking yourself free. It's about creating your own rules of the kind of business that you want, the way that you're going to do business in the marketplace. And I'm going to show you 7 systems that are easy to create and how to leverage those and get more money for your value, and not only that, but also start attracting companies that want to buy you out because you're highly attractive, because you're building something that nobody else has in your market. And to answer your question, that's Monique. Got to have a certification co-branding program. It's just crucial if you're a service provider. All right. So Sean, to answer your question, absolutely. You've been in business a long time, Sean, and if you're just starting out, you're not really starting out. So let me correct that error. Secondly, really, the reality is you've been operating as a 501c3 for many, many years, and not for profit. Now all of a sudden you're making a decision to become a for-profit company. That's all. And by doing that, now you're ready to step up and say, you know what, Glenn, I'm tired of giving away my advice for free or undervaluing it. The next question here, Samantha, Glenn, I'm an executive consultant. will what you teach work in any industry of consulting, as I have people that I've recommended to you from other industries. Samantha, thank you. I appreciate it. If you've been following what we did with Joy Pecchia and some of our clients in the executive coaching world, you're probably blown away by the fact that somebody like Joy, an amazing woman, by the way, but somebody who was scared to transactionalize her value for top dollar, followed the tool that all of you have access to, and said, you know what, Glenn, I'm going to get really serious about focusing on the core elements of business, and started closing deals and got big corporations to start coming to her and wanting to be certified in her system. So I interviewed Joy, by the way, a couple of months ago. Samantha, I'm not sure if you were on that. Next question, Hilliard. What is the time the day will be? Okay, that was I put this question in here, I think our company did, because it's more detailing. The date is December the 12th, so you're going to get all the details. We're going to also be following up with you. The day will start at 8 o'clock. It's going to go through till 10 o'clock at night. It's going to be great. I am super excited about it, and I'm like a child. Those of you that are Omega Mind probably saw that was maybe a little bit hyper. It was definitely zeroed in on business, and when I'm with clients, I am like laser focus, because I want you to understand, and that's why I wanted to show you our deal transaction tool, that our clients hire us because that's where they want to focus on, and they get it. They're tired of wasting money. They're tired of making everything so complicated. They want a more strategic way of executing. So we've gone way over today on our Google Hangout. I want to thank those of you that have stayed on as long as you have. Just, I guess, a quick short plug then. If you missed it or somehow just didn't get the number, I'll give it to you again if you're like me, fumbling around for a pen. You should always come to our Google Hangouts, by the way. Writing is the doing part of thinking. So you want to be able to come ready and prepared. Text the word DEAL, D-E-A-L, to 248-469-4376. And we've had comments. And please use the comment section on our Google Hangout page, newgurumodel.com/hangout. A lot of you are emailing us, phoning us directly. It'd be really good for you to reach out to. I should probably force you to do that more often, and I haven't been. But please feel free to make your comments there, and I will do my best to answer personally. But text the word Christmas if you're really ready to step up. Text the word Christmas to 248-469-4376. So it's the same number as the word texting deal, just a different word. And those would be your two actionable steps, and it'll allow you and I to exchange contact information in real time, really quickly, and give you a chance for me to follow up directly with you as well. So anyways, I'm excited, super excited about Omega Mind, super excited about Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. We are attracting some unbelievable additional business traction just because we're at the forefront of where everything's going in coaching and consulting. And I want to tell you this right now. It's never been a better time for you to get at the front of your industry. Get serious about it, because you are going to raise the level of newer and faster conversations in the marketplace. And that's what we started with today. Newer and faster conversations, and knowing how to transactionalize your value. And I gave you, when we started, and I was going to look here, see if I could find it. Can't find the page. Oh, here it is. And we started by showing you how to denominate that in real time with a real point value in a competitive marketplace, and help you start setting up and stepping up. So that's using our deal transaction tool. So it'll constantly remind you to not get sidetracked. Don't lose focus. Stay focused on execution. Never has it been harder to execute with all the information that we have access to today. It's never been harder to execute because there's just so much noise in the marketplace. So I want to challenge all of you, a fun challenge, to really go for it, all right? And that's what our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts are. I really hope our paths cross really soon. Perhaps they'll cross at the one-day intensive I'm doing at Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home. I look forward to meeting all of you, like I have with our Omega Mind members, they're stepping into the Canadian lake home for the first time. I shake their hand, welcome them. Give them a hug, because that's kind of cultural of what we do here. If you don't want to hug, just let me know ahead of time, Glenn. We don't hug. But I want you to understand, man, there's nobody more focused on business than I am. I am totally anal. And if that scares you, just take a look at my caricature and realize I'm just a normal guy too. So anyways, I look forward to our next Google Hangout, everybody. And as I said, may our paths cross really, really soon. Go for it, everyone.